Lando and Standy, take it away.
Thank you so much, Felly. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, Landon. Before you get started,
okay.
I just want to see where the energy is right now in the Kings Theater. So New York, do me a favor, give me some noise. I don't think that's enough. That's not what I was looking for. New York City, give me some noise! All right, I think they're ready, Landon.
I think they're ready, Jay. I think they are ready indeed. One more W. That's what this is about.
All about.
One more W for New York, a grand final spot on the line between these two teams. And then we got Crim coming out like the Undertaker. I don't know what's going to happen at this point.
I have no idea what's going to happen. These teams didn't match up throughout stage 4. LA Thieves were able to take it all the way into game 5. But just the way both of these squads have turned up in this tournament, at New York getting the reverse sweep versus Minnesota, and then coming out dominating that series versus Florida, momentum is going to be on their side, but they're going up against not an easy team in LA Thieves. They basically have been playing perfect Call of Duty all weekend.
And this is the LA Thieves that we have been waiting for, partner, right? This roster coming into Major 4. They made the improvements, right? They were known as the hardpoint team, the best hardpoint team in the game. And in Major 4, if you were to tell me that their record in hardpoint was going to be their worst, I would say, okay, I guess LA Thieves fell off. However, not at all the case. S&D and Control has leveled up to a point where now they feel confident going into Game 2, going into Game 3, and going into Game 5.
I'm pretty sure they're on a 5-game win streak in Search and Destroy. They're just changing the game, at least in their gameplay. Slowing down, letting the rounds develop, playing for map control, playing for your first bloods, and then converting those into wins. So LA Thieves, so far in this tournament, have been playing lights out. New York are going to have to step up, and I think the player that I'm definitely looking at is going to be Paulehx. You're playing triple Berlins. He's going to be the AR, trying to battle alongside Octane.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy, right? We know what the LA Thieves, they've kept this roster throughout the season, and it has been all about the ARs. The Kings Theater, Brooklyn is ready to watch their boys desperately try to get that final spot in top 8 for champs. Here we go. New York, are you ready?
They are ready to go, and just to touch on a little bit of stats before we get into this map. Number 1, NYSL, so far throughout stage 4, are 4-1 on this map. They are great and turning up to a whole different level, but Thieves on this map specifically, they are last in rotation win percentage, but they have a 3rd in break percentage. But here we go. P1 is where it's going to start.
It is indeed. You look to the eyes of Crimsix off the rip, and he is the one that gets this series off right. A few early kills as both teams headbutt into the point, but it's ultimately LA Thieves walking away with some early seconds with a man on our screens. The guy that we're going to talk about a lot throughout this series is Paulehx. Drops in a big spot, and LAT continue to walk away with points.
Now 30 seconds remaining on P1. NYSL trying to send multiple bodies to not give up all this time. Kismet finds 2, cannot find the 3rd, but that's going to be Paulehx with the trade. So NYSL able to break onto P1. They're controlling the spawns, and Paulehx finds another. Great time for them to at least try to tie this game up.
When a great nade comes in from Octane, so Thieves will reclaim control over at P1. Keeping things in mind, NYSL with the spawns over toward P2. You can get a lot of time on this upcoming HP. The boys in yellow look to lock down, look to hunker down, and prepare for what is about to be a break attempt out of Thieves. Kenny up and aggressive early, then puts that much more pressure onto Hydra. Paco trying to stay alive, but it's Kismet. The Bulldog comes roaring on through, eventually traded as LA Thieves make their presence known.
There's a lot of trades back and forth, but LA Thieves right now are in control of the hard point. All of NYSL just trying to get out of the back of their base. As trades go down, still time going in favor of the Thieves. Gonna be the final 35-second hit. So if you are New York, you have to break this, and Hydra with that 2-piece might be the opening.
But the problem is that Drazah is still here. All things considered, not a whole lot of teammate support. And how about this start for Kismet? Most engagements at 8 and 6, but it's his SMG duo who currently finds himself on the spree. 4 kills in a row right now for the French Phenom. 10 valuable points as the streak comes to an end. Still left at column, but Jay, it's all about the race for next. Kismet here and LAT, they figure him out.
Yeah, that was a big 2-piece from Kenny to at least get him off of that time with the nade and eventually find the second. So NYSL were not able to pick up that remaining 15 seconds. But off the rotation, it's going to be Thieves early. Hydra finds that first with the nade. Gonna put pressure on towards top fire. One player gonna be aggressive through vines. Envoy's gonna be able to find one, but Kismet, he finds two. And they're gonna be able to take control of Roof. That's 3 down, last player in the back. Kenny has to try to stay alive.
Trying to stay alive as desperate as possible. It comes down to a 1v1. And not only does Kismet stay alive for the moment, he at least gets spawns for the Subliners. A very desperate moment, because if that does not happen, the Thieves can continue to grow their advantage. But LAT will not go away. New York trying to hold things down once more. It comes down to Kismet, finds two, and Hydra is there for the trade. Thieves giving them all that they got, but this SMG line will not go away.
Yeah, and the Thieves, they're putting a lot of pressure on it because they're going into a P4 where they are struggling to hold that one, a 54% hold rate. It's not going to be good, but NYSL are going to be here off the rotation. The battle is going to be towards the back. Paulehx has to use one-on-one, cannot win it. So the initial 2 kills do go in favor of the Thieves. They have the numbers. That's going to be 3 dead. Last player is Hydra from the front, and all 4 go down. Thieves with a successful rotation.
We saw New York last time. They had a great hold when it came down to Church. Despite having spawns, the Thieves break right on through. Those guns are hot for either side of the stage, but it continues to favor LAT. Throughout our first 3.5 hard points, it just feels like LAT are in the advantage, typically in the driver's seat when it comes to rotations or when it comes to breaks, nearly doubling the score of their opposition as Kenny looks to get involved in the fight, eventually taken down.
That's a big 2-piece from Crim. So the trades are in favor of LA Thieves, so Crim has to try to slow down, wait for his ticket to get to the play. Final 15. They're going to try to contest this, knowing that they're going towards P5. Kismet finds another 2-piece, trying to go for the dirt towards front door, cannot win it. So the remaining junk time is going to go in favor of the Thieves, but off the rotation, Hydra does find one, but Thieves have more bodies there, they're ready.
Yeah, a big P5, where we've seen teams most recently, partner, start to kind of figure out, right, this command center, known as a very chaotic hill, but if you get your spreads correctly, if you toss out your nades right, there can be a potential for some breaks. Kismet cuts down his own teammate, and that is still going to be an advantage toward the opposite direction. The Thieves continue to walk away with points, and Envoy is reading them left, right, and center. Paul and Kismet combined for 3. Kenny, with no teammate support, has to back on up.
Kenny has to back up, but he loses the gunfight to Crim, so now all of LA Thieves spawning towards Church side. It's a big 25 if NYSL can pick this up. First gunfight's gonna go in favor of Octane, and that's gonna be 3 down, 1 player left in the point. All left up to Crim. He does find one, but a huge one-on-one between him and Kenny for this final 10.
Oh, and it belongs to Kismet. The Bulldog in a very, very valuable spot. One of the biggest series of his entire career. Jay got added to the Subliners, and it feels like ever since he did at the Pro-Am, things have been different for New York. They've started to figure things out, and oftentimes, Crim has even said it, they rely on Kismet so much for information and for callouts.
He's a phenomenal player, the objective mind for this NYSL team. You see, they win their rotation, that's all 4 dead. Usually this is the money hill for the Thieves. But NYSL are now going to get aggressive, take Mack control. Hydra finds 2. He's on a 6-3, can pick up the glide bomb, but Envoy takes him down. But this has been greatly uncontested time at P1. NYSL right back in this game.
And for a team that sees so much success on P1, this is great work from New York. They continue to walk away with trades, and Crimsix has got some words for the Dark Prince. Kismet on 5, Crim on 5 as well. They've retaken the lead, and they could have glide bombs in their future.
Crim has the huge gunfight, cannot win it versus Envoy, so it's on Kismet. Can he pick up this glide bomb for his team? Early shots onto Kenny, but he's eventually going to get traded, so no streaks to work with. But NYSL are in control of the lead for now. All of the Thieves spawning towards the back. NYSL just going to decide to flood through P5. Big gunfights going into Octane, but he's cutting them down left and right.
Well, the turret has having himself a great start to this game. Eventually does get cut down, and that could be the green light now for New York.
3 down.
Stand clear as they all come roaming in, rummaging in now to the column. Hydra ends up cutting down Envoy, a big opportunity for a break, and at the perfect time as well. But it's, again, these well-coordinated nades, and despite the break, LAT rush right back in.
LAT rush back in, but Paulehx is able to find 2. Hydra with the 3rd, so this remaining 20 is going to go in favor of NYSL. They had the bodies for the rotation. Kismet on the chase, finds Drazah. So they take the lead right on back, and it's all about this hold. At least the Thieves did a good job last time around, keeping NYSL off this time. If you're NYSL, you need to get some bodies on that point.
And this could be a big 1v1. Octane waiting for his moment to strike. Kismet, is he going to read the player over toward his left. Some shots do come out, aware of his position, and he'll take him down. Holds the irons well, 27 and 20. Right now from Matthew Tinsley. Continues to send LAT to the grave. And New York are getting some much needed seconds. As you said, Jay, last time around, Thieves were able to break in almost effortlessly, but this is not happening the same way. Kismet now on 4. He's hungry for the 5th. Eventually drops, but again, it feels like the trades continue to go the way of New York as Crim puts the rat to use.
Flawless hold right there from NYSL. You already see Paulehx, the route man, gonna be off the rotation. LA Thieves are gonna flip those spawns. Not the best case scenario for them. Full 60 hold puts NYSL up by 55 in control of the spawns. You cannot allow the Thieves to have the hold that they had last time around. NYSL gonna be the first players in towards the point, but all the pressure coming in towards the back.
Oh, and it's a big moment. It's a big moment where New York has to hold on. Let's step aside and go to listen in this very crucial moment.
Two grass.
I want the middle, middle.
Two grass.
Middle.
Two grass. Watch your back. Grass. Draw the grass.
I got one.
Nice. No second. Nice. Let's go. One shot. Nice. You got your back one.
Some fiery and very motivated comms out of New York as they continue to walk away with the trades. LAT will get those final few points of scrap, but when you look at the scorecard, Jay, it could not be more one-sided. NYSL have come alive in these second set of rotation.
The SMGs are taking over this game. 32 and 22 for Hydra, 33 and 24 for Kismet. Crim finds the opening 2-piece. It's gonna be LA Thieves in the time for it now. But more bodies from NYSL, the nades come in. They're gonna be able to get more time, 15 seconds away from taking map 1.
The Thieves, they're just gonna break in. They've gotta find at least one break. It is possible. It could happen now. They're able to find 2, and Kenny puts the SMG to use. Hanging on by a knife's edge are the Thieves. Gonna have to give it everything that they've got. 20 valuable seconds left. Could it be the break? Could it be the break? New York, they just need one more. Here comes the nade. And Kismet puts his life on the line, trying to set up his teammates for success. The final effort for New York will come to a crashing halt, but it's about that rotation toward next now.
Yeah, and NYSL, they're already set up. You already have Hydra and Kismet ready for the push through middle of the map. They can close it out right now.
They can have it happen here. Kismet with another crucial double. LAT low on numbers. Here they come, and here they fall. New York, strike first.
What a performance by NYSL in those second half of the rotations. Usually the money hill for the Thieves is that P1, but once we got to that P1, NYSL were able to get a full 60 hold on that one. Then once you get towards P2, it was scrappy between both teams, but where NYSL really pulled off was that P3.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful hold to hold it for a full 60, win rotations towards next, and just get closer and closer to that 250-point mark. LA Thieves could not execute break on 2 of those hills that eventually cost them this map number 1, but the SMGs for NYSL come out swinging and take a commanding 1-0 lead.
I'll tell you what, man, Kismet came out with some fire.
He did.
You saw so many opportunities where he was up in the face of the opposition, Jay. We talk about him so often as a support player. He's happy to sacrifice his life. A .9, it's fine if that's what the scorecard says, as long as it's a W in the end. And he came out with some aggression that the Thieves clearly were not able to handle.
Definitely were not. NYSL were just on point, and also Paulehx, he really didn't have the best start to that game. He was like 7 and 17, but the 2 pieces towards the later half of that game is what really started to set up NYSL for these flawless holds. 4 dead after 4 dead, just making it impossible for LA Thieves to try to contest that time, forcing them off the rotation, and then also losing their gunfights. Not the way you want to come out in this map number 1, but you're the Thieves, you're not going to be too mad about that. So far in Search and Destroy, they're on a 5-game win spree. So they have to make sure that they tie up the series in the next map.
It sounds so fun to say that, because it's like usually if Thieves lose the opening hardpoint, we're like, okay, well, this is panic time. This is panic time for the Thieves, but they've been in this position so many times previously. they lose that Tuscan hardpoint that they have been trying to perfect as much as possible. That's also the first opening HP loss for the LA Thieves. They've won every opening Tuscan hardpoint so far. It's been the key to their success. They don't have that luxury this time. And there you see the love from the fans. Brooklyn letting their boys know. We'll definitely catch up the flank once this is over, Jay, right?
100%.
Absolutely.
Best podcast for Call of Duty. Without a doubt. Shout out my guy Zuma.
Absolutely. Shout out to Tommy P. But tell you what, man, Berlin S&D up next. I don't know, it feels like that was a much-needed victory for the New York Subliners.
Yeah.
The desk was touching on it a lot, right? They need to come away with this because, as you mentioned, the Thieves are on a roll right now in S&D. You and I had one of their opening casts versus Atlanta, playing some of the best S&D out of anybody in the league right now.
They have just been taking their time in search and destroy, knowing that the team that they're playing against like to take map control, like to be aggressive. So as long as you play that neutral setup, get that first blood, it usually sets up Thieves to go out there and win the round. But on Berlin search and destroy specifically, in 4v3 situations, they're 11th in clutching. That's terrible. When you have the man advantage, you need to make sure that you're closing out these rounds, but you're going up against NYSL on this map, who are the worst defensive team on this squad. So it's all about these attacking rounds. If you can get these bombs down, force the play to come to you, that's the way LA Thieves secure this one.
And you also got to be aware of that, man, Mr. Octane. It feels like he has started to reach back into his bag. We know he could be one of the most dominant players that we've got in the league, and he can do it with the sniper as well. I'm sure very happy to have that sniper back here in Vanguard. Without a doubt, one of the most lethal that we've got in the CDL, and it feels like LAT have got that 1-2 punch. They've got Octane in the back with the sniper, and as of late, man, Envoy has been a man possessed in this game mode. I think he's number 3 right now in the league. And then also, on top of that, this is also top 5 KDs. He's also not just doing it in Search and Destroy, but he is doing it in the respawns as well. Number 2 right now.
They're top 5. You have Kenny and Envoy, and I'm pretty sure Octane is the same exact KD as Kenny, so he's sitting in the 6th spot with a 1.16 as well. So LA Thieves, like I said, they've just been playing flawless Call of Duty all weekend. They come out kind of slow in that map, number 1, but this is where they have to respond to get themselves into this.
And we've had many conversations, some late night talks, right, about this New York team. And Jake, every time that we're discussing the Subliners, you're always telling me they got to win their S&D.
Yeah.
If they can win their S&Ds, they can be a championship contender. They can make it to a grand finals. They can win a grand finals in front of their home crowd if they can win these search and destroys. Considering everything that you've been able to watch throughout this season, what does New York need to do in this search and destroy and moving forward if they can continue to go throughout the rest of the tournament?
In this search and destroy specifically, it's all about just being aggressive on the map, especially on your attacking rounds, because you know LA Thieves like to spread map 2-2 split towards either site. But if you have more bodies at one point, just win the trade situation, get the bomb down, and then force them to retake. But for both of these squads, especially LA Thieves, the standout player is going to be Envoy at a 1.08 on Berlin Search and Destroy. But on the opposite side, the equalizer for NYSL, Kismet, with a 1.24. Has been taking over on this map.
Last time we saw the Thieves in this very map and mode, it was versus Toronto yesterday. A clean 6-0 versus the Toronto boys. We'll see if they can have that same magic happen. They've been on a run, they've been on a roll. And now we come into this search and destroy. New York up 1-0, and the Thieves will begin things on attack.
He's gonna start off on the attacking round. Gonna send 3 players over towards train side. 1 player is gonna be on site. And I don't know if they're gonna spot Paulehx in position. He's laying down behind that bomb. Does get a couple shots down, but Envoy finds that first blood. Trey's not gonna be here, already a 4v2.
Yeah, your 2 players at top 10 in KD show their skills instantly in Kismet, the sole man alive, the one man who was on the opposite side. Now pulls out the big boy, a 1v4 found out, and it does not get much cleaner than that. Nobody falls for Thieves, and they claim our first round.
Just 4 up, 4 down. Clean round from LA Thieves to get that first blood. They find the player on site, and once you force it into a 4v2, just get that bomb down, play your numbers, get out with your life. As LA Thieves dominating round number 1.
And now for New York, no kills across the board. They'll look to try and reply in their very first attack here on Championship Sunday. We've seen a lot of those A hits, and obviously in Berlin you can see a decent mixture. So for Thieves, they will bring out that 2-2 split. 2 toward B and 2 toward A. Kenny and Drazah will be the first line of defense, and the first blood strikes again, but it is 2 more in exchange for New York. They smell blood, and they get the bomb down instantly, up 3v2.
They win the trade battle. So now to 3v2, you just have to hold your position, play these trades. Hydra At least in a great position to take down one, but Envoy wins that gunfight. So 9-2v2.
Wow.
Octane finds Kismet. All left up to Paulehx. 30 seconds left.
25 seconds to play with a lot of time if you're Thieves. At the same time, for Paul, does not want to give away his position. Has got to play this one close. No eyes on the site as of yet. They can be defusing at any moment. Cuts down one, 15 seconds to play with. And is Octane, does he hop on the defuse or will he hold on to the bomb? He'll use the bomb as cover. He used the bomb as cover, but it's going to be Paul who answers back and will clutch it out for the team. Paul, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my S&Ds, New York. Level it up at one, and Paul, the superstar in round two.
All just came down to COD timing at its finest. Envoy, he tries to tech that P5 area, but Paulehx, once he wins that gunfight, you know you cannot throw that shoulder. He had 24 HP. Octane, all he has to do is hit him with one bullet, but once you throw that shoulder, after regaining your health, get the information that you need to just stay down. He's not defusing and clutch up the round. 1-1.
Crim7 looks like Spike Lee out here in the front row, cheering on his New York boys. You love to see it. Early nade out from Kenny will net Thieves, I believe, their third straight first blood. And with that, the bomb will look to go down. Great pick comes in from Paul as he continues on his spree, and the Thieves look to set up shop.
3v3, Envoy's just gonna break these doors down. Give the clutch spot to Drazah a little bit easier. NY is still gonna send two players to Doc. One player is gonna go on that flank. It's gonna be Paulehx. Working his way all the way around towards Warehouse. Gunfights are gonna come in towards the bomb. Crim's able to find the first, but you gotta wait on Paulehx. What can he do on the flank?
Paul, it doesn't matter unless he can come away with this kill. The two members of New York still holding true onto the bomb site. Hydra ready to pop with the snipe. A 2 versus 2. Drazah and Octane holding down the site well, and the snipe will not land. The Thieves will lock this one down. The first bloods continue to favor them, and so will the round. 2-1.
It's all just on Drazah. Once he finds that kill onto Paulehx, they're perfectly set up to watch that bomb from either angle, back warehouse and boathouse. They just take their time, stall out as much time as possible until someone commits towards that defuse. Drazah's able to find both. 3 first bloods so far for the Thieves.
We'll see if they can keep it up. A lot of attacks. Attack victories up to this point. We'll see if it can remain the theme. NYSL going to continue to go over toward that A side. Only player in ear's distance is going to be Drazah, and with the information that Envoy gets, you can see the way that the arrows are now directed for the Thieves. They think this is going to be going down at B, when in reality, it is not at all the case, Jay.
It's not at all. Mind games right now from Hydra. Has multiple players committing towards his B site.
Hello.
NYSL, you can just kick this down. Envoy just waiting right outside the door. He's going to be able to spot him and win the gunfight. Another first blood going in favor of the Thieves, but if you're NYSL, just get this bomb down.
At the very least, you do lose the French Phenom, but you've got site control. They have yet to plank down this bomb. They are still not totally comfortable as of yet. Had they found that pick, it very well could have gone their direction. Can he receive some shots? Ultimately stays alive.
Trade.
It's a trade. A trade happens, and that will favor the Thieves, given the time and given the lives.
Now the 3v2, Crim has to try to make a play, but he gets caught out by Envoy. All left up to Kismet in the 1v3. He's gonna try to get the bomb down. Kenny's gonna put down a couple shots. Everyone from LA Thieves are going to collapse. And once again, another first blood going in favor of the Thieves, now up 3-1.
And a trade as well. That was not on my CDL bingo card today, Jay. Did not
I wasn't expecting that one.
Trade in that situation. Wild stuff. Wild stuff here in New York. But as you said, Thieves, so good in the early stages of these rounds. And it felt like New York, they had full site control, but just never elected to get that bomb down early. You never know where the Thieves could be hiding, especially with how lethal they've been in search to destroy. It very well could have been a right call if you are New York. But the utility tossed in Envoy, looking to get aggressive. He rushes straight toward fire, but is Hydra going to expect it? Paul actually has his back.
So that's NYSL finally with the first blood going in their favor. Now in the 4v3. The Thieves are just playing for some information. They're going to try to at least take down Crim. Kenny does a great job of doing so, but Kismet immediately there for the trade. 3v2. Bomb is still going to be down towards bottom library. A lot of time, though, for the Thieves to work with.
Great long-range shots from Octane. As Kismet will look to back on up, see another day. Gets out of dodge and will join alongside Hydra and Paul for a much-needed round. Thieves yet to grab that bomb and really do anything with it. Still eager for information. It is currency. And game mode such as this, and Octane has got 3 players behind him as New York look to clear out the warehouses.
They're taking a lot of map control. They know that LA Thieves have to commit towards this B site. Octane's finally going to be able to pick up that bomb. They basically flip spawns on the opposite side, so Octane's going to plant it or backfire. He's going to be able to get this bomb down, but Kismet is going to try to at least put some shots down. 45 seconds down the clock.
And Octane at least needs one. He has to find one, especially if Drazah is going to be here. 1v3. Now for the Alaskan Assassin. Should have clipped those toenails last night. And New York, a much-needed comeback, a much-needed retake. They deliver and avoid the swing round situation.
They find that first blood, they trade efficiently to at least keep themselves in the man advantage, and then Thieves just wasted a lot of time, enough time for NYSL to hit the buddy system, wrap all the way through the back of warehouse, knowing that they had to commit towards this B bomb. And NYSL, they retake beautifully, now down 3-2.
A great return there for the Subliners. As we said for the Thieves, S&D, it's been their mode, it's been their backbone. They cannot afford to allow for NYSL to get this one back, to level it at 3, but only continue to get this crowd more into it, continue to get the mentality of the Subliners back into it. New York, a 2-2 spread. Very well seen engagement in a moment's notice. Kenny able to strike. Another first blood granted for the Thieves. As Kylo Ken looks to readjust and maintain that advantage, but that's right when Hydra strikes. A great opening into the A site.
Down to 3v3.
Oh, Paul!
Decided to be aggressive towards the middle map. Unfortunately, Paul takes down Hydra, so it's a 2v2. Envoy's at least able to spot one. Paul cannot win the gunfight onto Kenny. So now Kismet, the Bulldog, in the 1v2, 45 seconds.
And he can absolutely do this. Oh, a great angle. Great angle if someone decides to come through secret and just toward his right. He's going to have a little bit of information to work off of. Kismet decides to reference back. 30 seconds left, and the Thieves, the trap was set. And Kismet will find one. 20 seconds to work with an Envoy. He's got to go hunting. He's got to go searching. Where has Kismet gone? He's right in front of you. And the Bulldog will bite back. The 1v2 clutch, New York, right back in this S&D.
What a play from Kismet to just get that bomb down. He knows that they have to be pushing out the back of this spawn, the reposition towards back alley. Once he finds that first blood, you force Envoy to make a play. Are you going to stick the bomb or try to look through back alley or intercepts? Gives him enough time to get his health back and clutch up the 1v2. NYSL have brought this back 3-3.
LA Thieves look to get incredibly aggressive over toward that A side. If you're New York, you played this very, very well. You put all your forces, all your numbers at this very site. Thieves could look for the first blood and honestly just get out of dodge. But a job much easier said than done. Utility toss. Plat somewhat clear, but still no overall information for the Thieves. As Envoy looks to wrap back. Paul does get some redemption. Finds the opening on the Kenny, and how about the flank for Hydra? Takes the double, and it's all on to Octane, and he will fall as well. And here come the Subliners.
3 rounds in a row for NYSL. Paulehx with the first blood, and right there, if you're LA Thieves, you're probably thinking, all right, let's try to play the trade on Paulehx. We know exactly where he's coming from. They all try to commit towards that A site, opens up the flank for Hydra to find that 2-piece. 4 up, 4 down. Clean round by NYSL, now up 4-3.
Speaking of 4s, you got Hydra, you got Kismet on those streaks as well. Something to think about. Hail Hydra indeed, my friend. Octane able to strike first. Crimsix will be out of the round. All they can do is provide some comms from the death screen. NYSL without their veteran, but Kismet, he's been the master so far. Brings things now to a 2v2.
2v2, a lot of time to work with. Rotate towards either side, especially with the Thieves playing over towards B. have to decide to wrap back or at least push through. And they decide to take control of the opponent's spawn. Now NYSL and Kismet gonna be able to sneak his way in towards fire. They're just trying to play for information. Paulehx gonna be the guy.
Paulehx for one. Envoy just below, is the spot to feed. Can he walk away with the gunfight? Not gonna happen. Kismet, a 1v1 again. Can he come up clutch once more, or can Envoy, the player lately for the Thieves who has taken over, can he deliver and bring us to 4-4? A tense moment. A tense moment. 25 seconds left. Envoy lurking. Where's he going to be at? And Kismet again! Absolutely sensational from Kismet. Granted, held the corner, but he has been nothing short of reliable in these moments where New York need him. Match point for NYSL.
4 rounds in a row for NYSL to put them at game point, and Kismet is also on a 6 spree. So if you are NYSL, just try to slow this game down, give him a free kill so he can earn that glide bomb, make your job a little bit easier. As the pressure by LA Thieves gonna go over towards B, they're able to spot Hydra on the cross, not able to take him down, but they get some good information.
Nades exchanged. Some new holes in this Berlin map start to be added. Craters over toward the street. Envoy looking for a few shoulders, looking to check out, make sure that there's nobody hiding with the timing. Works out perfectly for Hydra. NYSL answer early. And Paul is gonna have that info on to Kenny. Can he find him as he looks to escape? Kenny brought low. Looks to reload the automaton, tosses out the nade. And it doesn't land.
Drazah does find one, makes it a 3v3 with the positioning right now of Hydra. As Kismet finds that kill, he's gonna be able to earn that glide, but you can call it in right now.
And Hydra stayed alive. Hydra stayed alive, absolutely. He can call in the glide bomb whenever he wants. Kenny brings it to a 1v1. No glide bomb to work with, but another 1v1. Paulehx versus Kenny. Bomb attained. And will he look to go for the plant? Is he gonna bait out Paul? Here comes the gun engagement. Here it comes, and Paul will deliver! And New York go up 2-0 in the series!
Clutch after clutch for NYSL, 5 rounds in a row to take this search and destroy and now put themselves in a great position. 1 map until they are eligible for champs. 1 map until they make it to the grand finals at their own major. Clutch after clutch by Kismet, by Paulehx. The mid-round adjustments right there from NYSL were too strong. LA Thieves could not react quick enough. And NYSL playing so damn well. Crimsix, he drops a breadstick. He drops a breadstick. The young guns coming to play in search and destroy, put them in the commanding 2-0 lead.
Crimsix was just happily sitting in the Jansport. He's like, young guns, take me to the finish line, boys. Take me to the finish line. I will be your guy when you need me in the respawns. But a very impressive WJ out of New York. We cannot stress it enough, right? A few months ago, a victory, an S&D victory over Thieves. Cool, that's fine, right? But now versus this Thieves roster, a team that we have said played picture-perfect search and destroy, who just 6-0 Toronto in this very map yesterday. Incredibly, incredibly impressive. As the fans, they can feel it. They know that their boys are 1 map away from the Cinderella story being complete, from her getting to the ball. But you know, Jay, Thieves are not gonna go down easy.
They're definitely not gonna go down easy because their control that they're playing next is their best control, and that's usually the auto veto for NYSL. So they're gonna have to try to put something together in map 3 if they wanna close it out 3-0.
They are indeed, my friend. As we said, 1 map away are the New York Subliners from overtaking the Florida Mutineers and getting the final spot for CDL champs. It does not get more interesting. It does not get more intense than this. When we come back after the break, it is time for Berlin Control. Stay with us.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew and Zenny. Armor your eyes with Blocks gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Championship Sunday here at the King's Theater in Brooklyn, New York. And we have got some very, very happy fans because right now their boys find themselves up 2-0 with just one map left. One game left before they can get that final spot for champs. But Jay, we got to talk about the S&D that we just witnessed. It was clinical. Yep. We got to take a look at our scuff play of the game. It was beautiful. It was sweet from Mr. Paulehx. What do we see here, buddy?
This came down to a 1v1 to close out this search and destroy. Look at how much time is left on the clock once Kenny finds his two-piece. Goes from a 1v3 to a 1v1, but he knows that the bomb is down towards that B site. Time is ticking. Eventually, Kenny has to commit towards the bomb plant. Takes his time, strafes around that corner. With that auto in hand, all headshots to close out that search and destroy. Paulehx came to play in that S&D. You can just see the defeat right there on the side of Kenny. Huge 1v3, could have potentially kept his team in the game, but Paulehx answers the call. In that search and destroy, you see Paulehx's family supporting the young man.
Oh, you love it.
Love to see it.
You love it. You see Mama X constantly on social media, and she's got to be thrilled, knowing that NYSL are just one map away. But ladies and gentlemen, will it be here? Will it happen on Berlin Control? Not only are Thieves fans everywhere on the edge of their seats, but the same thing can be said, Jay, for the Florida Mutineers. They've got to be terrified right now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw Skies tweet at every single player from the Thieves and say he was giving them a little bit of extra AR power, but NYSL, here we go. One map away from making grand finals, from putting their placement in towards champ. They're gonna start on defense, all out pressure towards A. Crim finds the opening two. Paul with the third, they shut down that push.
Clinical work when it comes down to Berlin Control. We so often talk about it's really about that A zone. B can be captured quite simply. Octane's at least able to handle business toward the back alley, and YSL are there for the trades. And now it's gonna be the all-out focus for the LA Thieves. At that B zone, and how about the gunfight victory for Kismet? Jay, he has been sensational.
He has not been missing any shots today. The LA Thieves are able to find that two-piece, able to stop that clock. First tick of aggression at B is gonna come in. But NYSL, they're not gonna give this one up for free. Kismet, he's gonna try to attack this early shot. Eventually, Envoy does find the kill, but if Crimsix does drop here, just have to give this one up. Play for the retake, play for the hold at A.
And they're also going to send a few of their SMGs forward. Kenny does get dealt with as the Thieves also do not want to give up any ticket control. They've got two players here.
Three down.
This is where things start to get a little dicey for NYSL. Keep in mind, player number 3, Kismet, he's going to be on the flank trying to handle business, but Envoy is there for the 5 spree. Dives, looking for the 6th, and handled. But New York, they've got their one tick that they wanted over at the A zone. Now it's Hydra's turn, but Drazah is there to cut them all down. 4 fall in the feed, and the Thieves look to stack at A.
And New York gotta go. You gotta go, because this is gonna be a dominant round from LA Thieves to start us off. They're gonna be able to complete both points with 1:54 on the clock. That was textbook control right there from LA to now put themselves up 1-0.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Yes,
New York,
it is.
they realize, they're like, okay, they're halfway there. They got 4 players in the point. No need to stack them up on streaks. Granted, Berlin Control, not the greatest game, rather the greatest map for the glide bomb, but still do not want to give the opposing side any advantage, any unnecessary items. As Drazah and Octane will come into round 2 quite proud, considering the streaks that they sit on. And YSL, their first look now at the attacking side, and they've got that same strategy in mind. It's an all-out hit toward A.
Yeah, they have to match the aggression that LA Thieves are able to put on in the very first round. They already find that opening 2-piece. One player on the flank is going to be Kismet. He finds 2, so that's going to be 3. Make it all 4 down. The push to A is going to be good. You just have to stay alive, because it's so much more difficult. You can capture this A point off the rip. First tick is in. They have multiple bodies. Second tick is on the way, and LA Thieves are just taking their time at flat.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely clinical. Crim eventually falls, but Paulehx still here. Eventually handled, but you still got the SMGs. They're still roaming. They're still here. Hydra with 2, and Kismet with the 3rd. Nobody still left around the point. They are still capturing this. The time is still halted. Hydra continues to be the face of the Thieves, and they do not want to allow for him to go on a run. NYSL answer with the early A capture, and now have 1 minute and 50 on the clock to get just 3 ticks at this B zone.
We do not usually see that A point captured off the rip, but that's going to be 3 dead. Last player in the point is going to be Drazah. What can he do for the Thieves? He does find the first. Kenny with the second. So that could potentially slow down the aggression from NYSL. He's trying to do everything he can to stay alive. He gets taken down by Hydra. There's multiple bodies here from LA Thieves. Trades going back and forth. LA Thieves, they hold.
Thieves with desperation in mind cannot afford to give this offensive victory up. But you may not have that decision. Decision could be made for you, especially when Kismet is on the map. Players continue to get close. Live advantage firmly in the favor of New York as Hydra eventually dealt with Paul, the sole man inside of the objective. Gonna see what he can do. Also does get dropped. No ticks yet for the Subliners. Thieves, this defensive start has been perfection.
They've been holding strong as the first tick is about to come in for NYSL, but look at the lives remaining, 16 to 10. Your NYSL, if you can find a clean forward, that's exactly what you want to do. But you also want to trade efficiently. LA Thieves are able to find 3 in the feed. Now it's going to be on towards Paulehx. Can they at least take down 1? So he can trade effectively. 55 seconds. LA Thieves are doing a great job of just holding down this B point.
This is very, very impressive work from LAT. Envoy now on 6 in a row. And if you're New York, I guess you take somewhat of a different look. You got Hydra currently placed in toward fire. And he also gets red. Perfect reads out of the Thieves across the board. And they've done their homework in library of all places. A great job here off the rip. Crimsix with the first blood. Envoy now extends the streak to 7. 1 tick is all they have to speak of, and they cannot find the Dark Prince. Paul eventually shuts him down. 15 seconds to go as the lives continue to thin for either side. A current 3v5. It is up to only just a mere few. New York have got to get onto this point, but Octane is here. Octane still lingering. 2 players. Now 1 player left. It is all on to Paco. It's all on to Hydra, and the Thieves hold them off.
Such an impressive hold right there from LA Thieves. Usually when that A point is captured, it's not easy to hold down that B point, but they maintain map control the entire time. 1 player was focused on the fire push, just in case any NYSL players try to play for a couple of spawn kills. You keep control of water, you play your corners in towards the library. And they were winning a majority of their gunfights. Now, able to find themselves up 2-0 on this control. Also up 2 segments, just in case it does go to that round number 5. Envoy earns himself a glide bomb as well, and it's going to be the push all the way towards A once again.
And how many times have we discussed Envoy throughout their series? He has been the spark. He's been the guy to bring them back, to bring them from the depths. An incredibly confident LAT team rushed their way right into this A zone again, and watch that progress bar begin to fly. Already halfway there as New York begin to scramble. They're hitting flanks, they're hitting routes that just are not customary. Kenny now on 5 in a row, and the Thieves can do no wrong. Perfection again at the A zone, and now 2 minutes to work with. New York are gonna have to pull off something special if they expect to see a 4th round.
Yeah, they need a miracle right now because the first tick is about to be complete. It's all gonna be on the SMGs. What can Hydra and Kismet do? The contest is gonna be here. Hydra finds the first, Hydra finds 2, and Paulehx with the second. So that's gonna be the last player up in Octane. They equalize him. Now all of LAD's coming off spawn. They're gonna rotate back towards water. It's gonna be on Crim to hold this down.
Oh, Crim did everything but just get that final bit of damage onto either of those players, and he'll get found out. First player cleared is the Thieves. Honestly, rocking this like it's a hard point. Take 1 down, start to move in, start to force your way on forward, but it's Kismet again. Captain Clutch, who comes away and sets his teammates up for success. 1 tick through from the Thieves, but that is all that they have got as of now. The SMGs doing everything they can to be as unpredictable as possible in a very small area here at this B zone. They continue to line on up. LAT with 2 bodies in. And with the ARs on the outside, it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be easy, but 2 off the rip could be what they need. Second tick captured as Envoy looks to get a little dicey. Eventually falls, and New York break in perfectly.
New York just have to hold strong. A minute left on the clock. At least try to force this round number 4. Down by 3 lives. Hydra gonna be the player. Hold down towards water side. Drazah does find an opening kill though. If you are NYSL, it's gonna be on Kismet. Drazah finds 2, but that's gonna be 3 down. It's all gonna be on Paulehx. He finds 1, but now the stack is gonna be in the Thieves are gonna close it out.
Looks like it's gonna be here. Crimsix will fall. He will hit the deck, and LAT come roaring back in this control. The best way that you can possibly answer is with a 3-0 smack it on Berlin control, and they do exactly that, Jay. Impressive work across the board, and a stunning performance once again out of Envoy. Goes 21-12. He is having himself an event.
Turned up to a whole different level was Envoy. Earns himself the glide bomb, doesn't even need to invest it to close out this control. And it was just all on the attacking rounds for the Thieves. Like the early pressure towards B, based off that first round, they worked towards B, ticks, and then they were transitioning over towards A. It was beautiful, but they were doing that against NYSL, who the #1 defensive team on this map. So LA Thieves just came back and made a statement to now put themselves down 2-1. But we're not leaving Berlin just yet. Berlin hardpoint up next.
Yeah, it's the thing we talked about coming into this Berlin control. It's like, Jay, we obviously know that New York is up 2-0. They're feeling good. But the Thieves are not going to just roll away, right? They're not going to be one of those teams that's going to be dramatically affected by this crowd. We got a group of veterans on that side of the stage who realize the importance. They realize, hey, this is a lot for them as well. They're trying to make the finals. They want to be in their first finals, first major finals under the LAT banner. And they come out roaring in this Berlin control. And I guess somewhat of a positive, you're going to do another Berlin respawn.
Definitely are. It definitely is a positive for the LA Thieves because as of recent, these guys have been so dominant on this map. Used to be one of their bread and butters, especially when you think about the Thieves roster. It's Kabuto and it's Berlin. But the last time that these two teams matched up, it was NYSL able to take it away by only 13 points. It was very, very close. But NYSL are the best P3 team on this map. And then LA Thieves are the best P4 team on this map. So it's all going to come down to those rotations. Who's going to be properly set up for both of those money hills for these squads?
And I feel like it sounds like a broken record, but I'm going to ask you the question regardless. Like, who do you look out for when it comes down to this Thieves team? I feel like I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. Who do you think can help lead the charge?
It's going to be Kenny. Kenny is the guy that pulls out the 30-yard a majority of the time on this map, and he has that takeover ability. And then the opposite side, you're playing AR maps. They didn't really have the best map #1. I'm looking at Paulehx. He returns up in that search and destroy. Everyone on NYSL basically didn't spawn in on that control. But this is where they can close this out in another hard point. Their ARs, especially with the way that Crim played yesterday, a 1.32 in that series versus Florida. If he can have that same energy here, I think NYSL have a great chance of closing this one.
It's very possible, my friend. It is still very possible. As we said, one map away. Still are the New York Subliners from grabbing that 8th and final spot. When we talk about champs, though, here are our numbers so far throughout stage 4, the records for either side. And it's hard, right? It's hard to avoid the left side of the screen. Granted, you have some great hold percentages, break percentages are there as well, but for NYSL, a 12-2 record, an average point differential of +56, that is mad.
Just remember the beginning of the year with this NYSL team, they could not win a hard point. It was like a 13-14 losing streak. But ever since they made this roster, hardpoint has been their bread and butter. 12-2, that's dominant.
That is.
All throughout stage 4. They go 4-1 throughout qualifiers. The only loss that they lost to was the LA Thieves, and that was losing both search and destroys in a 6-3 fashion. They take the first one. Now it just comes down to doing what you do best, and that's winning your hardpoints.
Now realistically, avoiding the stats, avoiding, what are the Game 5 records, etc. Do you feel like it has to be a W here for New York? Like if the LA Thieves start to get something going, right? They start to get some momentum on their side. They're winning the respawns. They're in the midst of trying to make that reverse sweep. do you feel like it has to happen here for New York? They got to close it out in 4.
Yeah, this has to be where NYSL closes out because that last map, Desert Siege, they do have history on it. The last match of Stage 4, and it was Los Angeles, able to take it in a 6-3 fashion, so they know the playbook. They know exactly what's going to come. This is where they need to close this out. Such a beautiful crowd, everyone in the King's Theater. Amazing venue. As map 4 is getting ready to start, NYSL 1 map away from making it to the grand finals and having their champ spot in their back pocket.
The final fist bumps come on through for either side of the stage. And maybe the final bit of words said to each other, some let's goes, some let's do this, and maybe some words that we can't necessarily say on broadcast either, but hey, it is what it is. Berlin HP. Could this be the map for New York, or will we have a Game 5 on our hands? I know given yesterday, we didn't see a ton, but lately, throughout Major 4, and through our first few days here at the New York Major, we've seen so many of those final maps go down. As we take a look at NYSL, the more preferred side, as we head in toward Berlin P1.
This P1 time is going to go in favor of NYSL. Hydra finds the first. Hydra going to be aggressive. He finds 2, but that's going to be the Thieves coming out on top in the trades. Beautiful break from them to not allow NYSL to get a majority of this time already. As now all of NYSL is going to try to set up this pinch, but there's multiple Thieves players here ready for the cutoffs.
Yeah, very interesting pinch. It does go down for New York. We'll see if it does pay off. Oh, and so far it is not panning out the way that they would have liked, but here comes Kismet, eager to strike, and he'll take down 1. Back-to-back headshots, and he'll have some words for Envoy as well. Kismet comes into this hard point with something to prove, eager to close out the Thieves in just 4. New York will have the advantage, but as we head toward P2, it is the Thieves with spawns.
Thieves currently now with spawns, but they're losing a bunch of gunfights. Hydra and Crimsix combined for all 4. Thieves are the last in rotation win percentage on this map, and it showed right there as NYSL able to get a clean 4 dead. Now it's all about the setup. 1 player, actually 2 players, going to be able to slip right on through that water side. Octane finds the first, and that's the initial 2-piece. Now it's Hydra's turn to strike.
It's the Hydra and Paul will have to try to take down the rest of the Thieves. Hydra drops, and Paul does as well, clearing out the base. Will work out quite nicely for the Thieves, but Kismet, I didn't even see him on the map, Jay. It feels like he is like 3 players on the map. He does not leave that hard point and strikes again when LAT don't even realize it. A great break opportunity for New York as they're in the driver's seat to grab these final 10 seconds, but with spawns at their back, Thieves, a great push to try to rush on forward. Hydra will grab these 2, and once more, it is the Thieves with the rotation. P3 up next now, partner.
This is their worst hard point, but this time around, they're gonna have the spawn, so it's all about holding this setup. There's only gonna be 1 player in towards point. Crim, he's not able to spot him.
I've not seen him.
Gun does not go through. He's gonna sneak his way onto the contest, but Envoy eventually takes him down, but at the same time, Paulehx and Hydra are combining to take control of the spawns, and they are able to flip. Now it's all on Envoy. The trades come in, and NYSL, a successful break.
A successful break and a successful spawn flip. LAT, as we said, this hardpoint has caused them so many problems recently, and it will again, a headache and a half. You felt like you're about to take the lead, and now you're staring at the Subliners, getting ever closer toward that century mark. Triple digits just a moment away as Kenny, the last player pushed up, for to make his presence felt, but Kismet puts him in the dirt again. Thieves run back toward the train with their tail between their legs, hoping for a much better hardpoint this time around.
And this is their money hill right here. Perfect setup, having 1 player committing towards that overextension through water side. 2 players pushed out on trains. It's on Kenny to at least stay alive on that point, but Kismet wins a huge 1-on-1. So now that's gonna open up the pinch. It flips the spawn now for Drazah. All you have to do is win your gunfights for your NYSL, but Kenny and Octane combined for 2. Kenny with 2. It's gonna be 3 down. Kismet last player up towards Warehouse, and you see the spawns for NYSL all the way across the map at 5.
Yeah, and that's why Kismet, right, just decides to hold off, wait for a few teammates off his spawn, and he strikes. He strikes not for 1, but for 2. Perfect plays coming out of Matthew Tinsley, setting his teammates up for success as Crimbot indeed comes away with 2. LAT will still with the spawns. 10 seconds left, but New York got the break that they wanted. They at least hold off LAT from getting any unnecessary seconds. Now toward P5, Thieves with map positioning.
Yeah, but if you're New York, you do struggle on this hill. You struggle with the chain towards P5 and P1, so you have to maintain this side of the map towards top flat. It's gonna be Crim. Try to keep him off this time. He does find one, knows the positioning of another, but Hydra's gonna be there for the assistance. Time not going in favor of either squad, but once Kismet finds that kill towards top 3, NYSL starting to soak some time.
And if you're Thieves, right, you have this interesting moment, this interesting conversation on how we want to try to break this, right? They've got the spawns also. Do we want to go for time? Do we want to try to go for these long rotations? Hydra, hungry for 3! You have got to be kidding me! Not even 3 players could take down the French Phenom. It's the 4th that ultimately does it, but New York are firing on something different, and the most important part, Jay, is that they didn't lose spawns.
And look at Envoy, though. Envoy's going to be the player on the route. He does find that opening kill, and Drazah from the front finds another. That's going to be 3, make it all 4 dead. Worst case scenario right there for New York. Spawns flip, so now they have to try to break this from the front. LA Thieves do have train control for now, but that opening 2-piece might be the opening that NYSL are looking for, but Kenny shuts it down with 2 of his own.
And this is the player to look out for, right? Player number 6, N. Kenny. We have seen LAT make some sensational comebacks, some dominant runs versus both OpTic Texas and Atlanta FaZe in this very moment. Kenny has been the guy, and can he do it again? Rush it toward the outside, and Hydra is there for 1. Octane with the AR. And medium range is at least able to shut down Kismet for the time. LAT, great job to try to even the score, but New York come rushing back on in. The cavalry arrives, but is it gonna be long enough? Is the time gonna work out for them? It does not. LAT grab the final seconds, and now we rotate again toward Library. Chaos going on right now in Berlin.
LATs are able to take the lead, but multiple players here from both squads. All gonna be about these gunfights. Envoy and Drazah combined to win the trade battle. That's gonna be 3 dead. Last player up is Paulehx, all 4 dead. Once again for LA Thieves. NYSL with the bad spawn has to execute this break, but you also have to flip those spawns. The break has to come in now.
New York cannot allow for this one to get away from them as well. They cannot afford for these kills to go the way of LA Thieves. As we said, the P1 and now at P2. If LAT play their cards right, it could be 3 straight hard points. They've got the spawns for next, and New York thankfully break in. But it was a necessity at that point. It was necessary. LAT, a big moment in this game with Fire up next. Let's step aside and go to a listen with them.
Fire taking from Fire Hydra. From Fire and Fire tank. He's Empire. They're gonna be in front of me, guys. He's just holding Fire heady. He's just literally sitting on it. I got you. Give me more fire. Fire. Give Tom. Hey, I got fire. Fire. Crim. I got 50 fire. Two fire challenges. I'm trying to look at it. Stay down. I have cross. He's in fire zone. I'm done. Oh, you got front. Green time. Nice. Stay down. One still fire crim. Small time. Let's get this. Hit him front lane. He rotated. I'm going up mid. Let's go.
LA Thieves starting to heat up, and more specifically, the Alaskan Assassin putting them on skates. Now at 4 in a row, LAT have got the advantage, but we go in now toward trains. Drazah continues on his reign of terror, and the Thieves come roaring across the entire side of Berlin. Let's step aside and go to a listen with New York now.
One last steps. We're going down slay up. Let's go. One shot out of. I'll take one shot, bro. Nice. Back inside. Back alley, Stay left. You got me crossing? Finesse. He's close. Dead. Got you.
Yeah, I'm stunned. I'm getting there.
Yo, I spawned dirt. Someone get time.
Sidewalk, he's on the crate. He's on the crate,
Yo, long, Kenny, last kid. Going to the window. Goodbye, jump on sidewalk.
Yo, in train, Drazah.
He went to the window. He's P5. Kenny P5.
I don't see him,
One shot in train, Drazah.
P5, he's low, close. Can he one shot?
Give me a sec.
I'm looking
Where'd he
P5.
go?
Yo,
Did he go
P5
in
dead.
Low.
Yo, back alley, Drazah weak.
Kenny's dead.
I got
Yo,
back alley.
he's in train.
Watch your train, watch your train.
Yeah, he trained.
Get that time.
Yeah.
Drazah weak counter. He went back in the train,
out.
I'm watching enter.
Just finesse.
I got you.
And NYSL, the communication is clean, the intensity is there, but Kismet with that three-piece allows them to get right back into this game. Only a 4-point game. Going into P5, it's usually going to come down to this P5, P1 chain, but that's going to be all the kills going in favor of the Thieves. They're maintaining map control.
And I don't know about you, Jay, but this just feels like a hard point that's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to one rotation, maybe a single gunfight, considering how tight that this lead has been throughout the entirety of this Berlin. Like, we've seen maybe 20, 30 points at max, constant breaks, and constant spawn flips. But right as we say that, Thieves get a moment. They get a moment brewing, or they not only do great at fire, but they're holding things down at P5. NYSL starting to run out of gas.
You have to flip this spawns. You cannot allow them to chain it to P1 because LA Thieves, they're going to be set up early. A lot of time to make this a 40-point game. Now NYSL has to haul all the way across the map. It's going to be on Kismet. Can he win this gunfight? At least flips the spawn to one of his teammates, and he does. So that's going to be 3 dead. Last player in the point is going to be Drazah. He gets taken down, and NYSL win their gunfights off the rotation. They cannot win it here, but they can get pretty damn close.
They can get very close indeed. LAT running straight through the door, but Kismet is here to greet them. Hello, how do you do? Oh, and Paul picks up right where he leaves off. Hill gonna be vacant for the moment. Crimsix hot off a spawn. Trying to put as many bodies in this point as possible. Contest the Thieves. Do not allow for a break. One player on the flank is gonna try to make a play, but it's a team nade.
Or that again.
And it's a team nade. 4 go down. And while New York cannot win it here, it's going to be another lead change and a mad dash toward the library.
Paulehx is going to be the only player here for NYSL. He does find one, puts himself in a great spot, but Kenny, the cutoff man, just trying to cut off everyone else on NYSL. The opening 2-piece is going to be here. That's 3 dead, make it all 4. NYSL off the rotation are able to take the lead. 10 seconds away from closing out the series.
240, 235. Kismet knows where they are.
Gotta
He
go.
knows where they are. Thieves, they've got to rush in. They've got to rush in, but it's Kismet again. It's Kismet again. New York, a city where dreams are made, and we just saw one. A miracle run in these last few weeks has netted New York the 8th and final spot at Champs and a grand final position here at their major.
What a performance from NYSL on those final 2 hard points. They're able to get a clean 4 dead, hold down that P1 for every single second. And then off the rotation, it was Crim and Paulehx starting off with the gunfights, but to close it out, Kismet, my MVP of the series.
Absolutely.
Takes over map 1, dominates in search and destroy, multiple clutches out of him, and then in that hard point, 2-piece after 2-piece, whenever he needed to do. For NYSL to now close out this series, make their own grand finals at their own major, and they have their spot at Champs. Florida, heartbroken back at home, but what a performance from NYSL to close this one out 3-1.
And you gotta tip your cap to New York, man. I mean, we came into Major 4 wondering if it was even possible. I mean, is there even a chance? We were crunching the numbers. We were going over every single stat. Is it possible? Who do they have to beat? And to sit here right now, to say that they went from 11th, the 11th seed, now to the 8th, is truly one of the more crazier and unbelievable stories that we've seen in Call of Duty history. The champ streak for Crimsix is still intact. And my goodness, it has got to be a good feeling, Jay. As a New York fan, as a subliner guy, as a New York native, it's got to be an unreal feeling, man.
They did exactly what they needed to do to at least make it the champs, but job is not done. This is their major.
Yeah.
They're set up to go out there and win their own major. NYSL. Top 4 team. They are disgusting,
They are, man. They are absolutely terrifying. It is a W for New York to kick off Championship Sunday, but the best part is that we've only got more banger games still left to go. That's going to do it for myself and Jay here at the major, but now we send it to the main stage. It is Blaze, not joined by one player, but joined by the entire team.
Thank you so much, Lando and Standy Subliners. Coming into this event, the 11 seed, your champs. It wasn't looking good for you, but the Cinderella story has came true, and you guys are going to champs. Make some noise for your Subliners. Crim, with your squad side by side, coming out here like the Undertaker. Man, how you feeling?
Well, first things first, I'm not doing that again, because I played like ass. My teammates are gods. My teammates are actual gods. Anyways, you know, basically, it was the worst of the worst, right? And I told these guys, I was like, dude, you guys think Simp has an opportunity to, like, do something like this? No. I played for 13 years. 13 years. And I've never been in this spot. To me, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
And for these guys, it was my duty to keep their heads on straight. You know?
And you did.
Yeah, because we went to fucking battle. We went to battle.
It was war all weekend long.
Yes.
4 days in a row, they got it done. Now, I want to talk to Paulehx here. As Paul, what a series here. So many clutches in the SND. What does it feel like to qualify for champs like this with your team?
Amazing, bro. We put in so much work to get here. It's not even funny. Like, coming into this team, I knew we were at a deficit when I first joined the team.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna have to be a comeback story.
Yep.
But to come in 70 points, like, if you looked at the points coming into this, you seen the 70 probably chalked us up with
Nobody
errors.
had hopes, but it was your major, though.
Listen.
You had this crowd.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, what everyone else thinks. I don't give a fuck, honestly.
Yep.
It's just about me and the fucking team.
You in the squad right here. You in the squad.
Honestly, we've been on, like, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
So that's our thing.
And that vibe has shown in the scoreline. The French phenom is Hydra. Paco, just a few words for the crowd because you fried. You absolutely fried.
I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
You are fucking beast.
Beast. The French phenom.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? Let's talk to the beast next to you, the bulldog himself. The what?
He's not a mad dog anymore.
Oh, Crim said he ain't the mad dog. He's Cerberus, okay? The three-headed beast. The walking triple kill. Kismet, after that series, how you feeling in the moment?
Dude, I love you guys. Like, the energy in this venue is unreal, and we hear every one of you guys, and without you, I don't know if it's possible. So, you know, 50-50, we're here, and that's for you too.
And it's for y'all as well. One last time, going to the grand finals to win a Major 4. Make some noise. Hold up, Crim got something to say.
Yo, Crim 7, you're coming to champs.
Crim 7's going to champs is what he said. He said, get ready, you're going to champs, okay? That's gonna do it for us on the stage.
Wait, is this on?
It's on, it's all you.
I'll pay for your shit if you need me to. I'll
He'll
pay. I don't care.
You.
If New York won't pay, I will.
He's gonna pay for you. You going to champs, Crim 7, okay?
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, it's love across the stage.
Crim's looking at him like it's his son.
Belly, take it away.
All right, New York is absolutely loving it, and the Subliners booked their trip to the grand finals and most importantly, champs. But Ali, when I see you on that main stage, nothing but animals because those guys are good.
Did you know somebody that looks at you the way Crimsix looks at Crim 7, man? There was nothing but hearts in those eyes, but Kismet, this entire series, I'm mean, what a performance out of him. This is a player I feel like has been overlooked for the past couple of years, and he just went on that main stage and dropped 41 for the win.
Yes. There, you are not wrong. Like, look, listen, you need to give him the keys to this city with how well Kismet has been playing, because it's not just the fact that he is doubling up people's kills in the game. He's doing it the same thing with Hilltime. He's doing it with the non-tradeds. He is like consistently throwing up some of the best performances in Respawn all year, on top of the 1v2 clutches, on top of the fact that he wins his ones. Like, he's the MVP. He is playing
100%.
out of his mind. A 1.28, like, it is truly unreal. He was their best player that series, and like, bro, it's just, he has been incredible, and he is a late pickup to the team. This dude was in Challengers.
The guy was in Challengers frying, and then now he comes into New York, and they are in the finals. An impossible feat these guys just accomplished. That is so wild to see. And like you said with the Kismet plays, I mean, the three-piece in the hard point, they just got out of the gauntlet of a spawn trap. They needed somebody to make a big play. Like, this just wild plays all around from this team, and Kismet in that series was the MVP 100%. But also, let's talk about Pimp for a second. Let's talk about it for a second, because in 10 years, when people are trying to say he's playing against Pummers or whatever it is, this was the most impossible feat that he has just accomplished. They started off the year as the top 2 worst team in the entire league, and they did it.
They finally did it. Yep, New York Subliners made the miracle run come true, but like Standy said to all of New York in here, job's not finished yet. Let's take a look at the game through tactical play where Kismet went absolute beast mode and dominated in a 1v2.
I don't even know which one we're gonna pick. You have somebody else, but the 1v2, we'll tip the cap. And by the way, this is timing down to perfection.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And the fact that he instantly, it's not even this play for me, it's the one following this, the 1v1 versus Envoy, because the way he played this one obviously made Dylan overthink the next one. When Kismet goes and lays that bomb, the 1v1 versus Dylan, and sits in office and just lays there, he knows Envoy is getting flashbacks from the round before, so Envoy is checking all of his corners. He's going outer, he's checking every death. But the one that he misses is the one that Kismet was in, and it was plays like that. And we now have our top 8 for Champs Bell.
Let's go! New York Subliners finally did it. From 11th to 8th, nameless, they made it.
I know, and I gotta say, man, being that #1 seed going to the champs is looking a little bit scary right now. So, you know, our next match, Atlanta FaZe versus OpTic Texas. If you're Atlanta FaZe, you want to get to that grand final, so you know what you're working with in that matchup.
All right, Chance, you will not be on the desk for that one right there, but I want to hear your thoughts about that matchup.
For the OpTic FaZe one? Oh, I mean, bro, it's as good as it gets. OpTic has had their number all year long, but if you have paid any attention to Atlanta FaZe over the past few years, you don't know what to expect. You just know they're gonna be ready to fry. I mean, they've been shooting bodies all weekend. Like, it's the only weak point they have is hard point, and we both know that is not gonna last. So, like, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be a banger of a series, and I'm kind of excited to see how the crowd gets into it.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooklyn has been special, and this event has been my favorite yet. But coming up next, the rivalry continues. The Subliners are waiting in the finals right now, and the LA Thieves are waiting in the elimination finals. But the team that will challenge them will be the winner of FaZe and OpTic Texas. Coming up next, the rivalry will be there, baby. It's gonna be Atlanta FaZe, a team that could not win an event yet this year, facing off against OpTic Texas, the squad that won Major 1 and has been a thorn in Atlanta's side. Can Atlanta finally get the revenge? We're gonna find out right now behind Simp and the rest of the boys. We'll catch you guys there.
too exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got the power, I'm built to devour. Anyone coming against me, I tower. I don't cave under pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in the stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh, no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. We've been here, we done that, we done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We've been here, we done that, we done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my prime since pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range, going over heads a good toupee. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime, punching the clock, I'ma get
Mountain Dew and NYSL are giving away tons of prizes all weekend long. Grab your friends and join the Major 4 Metaverse event in Dew Centraland for your chance to win. Visit nyxl.com/dew. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Amazon Prime members get free games every month and a slew of free content for your favorite games like Call of Duty. Claim yours now at gaming.amazon.com.
New York, welcome back to Major 4 and back-to-back for one banger series to yet another one. NYSL booked their trip to the finals and we saw that amazing game, but this one right here is going to be built a little different. We got OpTic Texas and the Atlanta FaZe. What better matchup would you want? Joining me on the desk, we got Ali and Nameless, of course, right? But also, my man Lando, great commentary. We just walked off of a banger series.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was unbelievable. That was wild. Like the story has been set in play for months. We came in, like we said, we came into Major 4 wondering if it was even possible, right? Could it even happen for New York? And the fact that we sit here where we are, they're not just in the top 8, but they're also in finals. Truly one of the best stories that we've seen throughout Call of Duty history, buddy.
Yes, sir. And when it comes to the maps most between OpTic and FaZe, Nameless, this rivalry is it.
Listen, this has been a lopsided matchup when you look at this rivalry that we have here. I mean, FaZe has been getting absolutely smoked by OpTic. The series count is 5-0 in favor of OpTic Texas. I mean, and we're talking about a 12-3 respawn record. And looking at the maps here, it's a little bit interesting because FaZe gets rid of Gavutu in this series, which is, you know, a map that FaZe has looked good on. So the Hardpoints are playing Bocage and Tuscan. Bocage, I mean, both these teams can get hot on that map. We've seen OpTic have some tough Bocages, though, as of late. The Bocage Search and Destroy, I definitely favor OpTic in that one. They've been looking unreal in their last couple of series, clutching up in the end there. But I mean, this is just one of those series where like FaZe is playing like they need to get over the mental hump. They have to come out here, guns blazing. Arcitys has to be the guy to step it up. Over time, he's only had a .79 against this roster this year.
That's absolutely insane. And Ali, when it comes to OpTic Texas, the crowd is electric whenever they take that main stage. But for me, who's been still in the show, has been iLLeY.
I'm right there with you. We plug iLLeY back in and in stage 4 qualifiers. I mean, he picked up right where he left off. Unfortunately, it was the SMG duo that was struggling to get on their feet again. Now we come on land and the OpTic Texas, the green wall, they just refuse to go down and stand strong. Even when it seems like OpTic is down and out, when the fans get behind them, the momentum starts hitting that switch. And it's been Shotzzy who has been turning it up. And I see those two Bocages right off the bat. That should be a map Shotzzy takes over on. So, like I just said, Shotzzy is finally getting going. It's huge when it comes to the game fuel keys to victory. A 1.14 KD in 3-2 win over Ultra yesterday. 123 kills. That guy is straight moving on the map and got to shut down Simp with a 1.38 KD on both Cage S and D. Another woe when it comes to Atlanta FaZe in this OpTic matchup. Simp actually struggles as well with a 0.89 in their history in this matchup. So need a big map out of both of them, or OpTic just continue to shut them down.
Yeah, I feel like FaZe's strategy here is interesting. Like getting rid of that Gab and playing on Tuscan, a map that they haven't been that great on. Like they lost to Paris on it, right? But I guess they're feeling confident that like Shotzzy isn't the same Shotzzy that they were playing against in those 5 other series. Like he's still trying to figure his gameplay out. So, you know, they're going at him on a lot of the smaller maps, and you know, that could be a bad decision if Shotzzy comes to play today.
Right, and when FaZe comes to play, the crowd is definitely gonna boom, but Lando, at the end of the day, we all know who they are.
Yeah, oh, we absolutely do, right? We know really who both of these teams are in some ways, but at the same time, they've had some uncharacteristic losses lately, right? With this OpTic Texas team, right? With the new addition of Illy, while he has picked up the pace, there have been some uncharacteristic moments. And for Atlanta FaZe, you could say the same thing, right? Some odd losses, some losses to LAG, some losses here and there for this FaZe group. It's a weird situation, Bill. It's like, it feels like we know what we're supposed to expect when it comes down to Atlanta versus OpTic, but I don't know, I feel like I'm looking at SMG players. I'm looking at the Tiny Terrors. I'm looking at Scump and Shotzzy. 4 players who I feel like I would always know what to expect. This time I'm not so sure.
Yeah, for the game fuel keys to victory, Atlanta FaZe, they have to lock down the control. I mean, they're 7-2 going up against OpTic Texas, 2-6. I mean, throughout this year, OpTic has smoked them in control, 5-1. That's been the major edge that they've had, and OpTic looks more human than ever in that game mode. Then you need Arcitys to bring the slaying. As I was just saying, 0.79 versus OpTic this season, it just ain't gonna cut it across that stage. You're gonna have Dashy, who, I mean, there's an argument for him to be MVP, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be a big one.
All right, so it's going to be a big one for sure. Let's take a look at the team stats as well to see how both of the teams have been doing so far. Atlanta FaZe and OpTic Texas, the 2 titans of the scene. And Lando, take a look at that.
Ooh, wait, that's pretty interesting, Vel. I mean, somewhat even across the board in certain things, but obviously the biggest difference is going to be that search, destroy, and control, especially. You got the 11th team versus the number 1. We talk so often about the intangibles. Can you win hard points, but more specifically, can you win 2, 3, 5? Can you win those search destroys, win those controls? Obviously, based on stage 4, Atlanta FaZe have the clear edge.
And the control is just so interesting because it's like the 2 best year-long Tuscan control teams. Yeah. And FaZe looks like they're at the top of their game when it comes to that map. They're 4-0 this weekend on it, and that's a map where previously, like, OpTic has beaten them on, right? Like, plenty of times. I remember when Dashy was just popping off, dropping numbers against them on that map. So if they can get the edge and take the control in this series, it could compromise them.
And the house looks split right now. Atlanta FaZe.
No, it ain't split. It ain't split.
We're going to have some fun right now then, because whenever OpTic takes the stage, I love to see what the crowd has to say, and it's going to be time for Pick'ems. Lando, starting with
me. You guys start me again?
I got it, man.
It's all right. It's fine.
Ladies first.
All right, you can start with me.
Go ahead. I appreciate it.
This is going to be an interesting angle to take for sure, because OpTic is 5-0 when they go up against the Atlanta FaZe, but from the Atlanta FaZe I saw this weekend and this past weekend in their search and destroy and the control woes that OpTic has faced, Atlanta FaZe has gone against the crowd multiple times, and I think this is the time that they get their piece of the pie. I'm going to go with the Atlanta FaZe.
The Atlanta FaZe for Ali. All right, I didn't expect that one. Nameless.
I mean, how can you predict this match, right? Like, we have no idea which team is going to come to play here. I know it's going to be a banger, but if I had to pick a team, I got to go with the Atlanta FaZe. I just feel like these guys are due for a victory versus OpTic Texas. OpTic Texas is still trying to plug Illy in and get comfortable. They've had some massive clutch moments throughout this tournament, but that's not going to do it against Atlanta FaZe. I think they get them.
All right, this might be New York's house, but the green wall is so strong here right now. Lando, are you going to make him boo one more time, or are you going to make this whole crowd yell?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still going back and forth in my head. I'm like, you know, I look at Atlanta FaZe, I look at OpTic Texas, and I'm like we said, what OpTic Texas are we going to get? Atlanta FaZe, are they going to be those same demons? I'm going to go different. I just feel like something's in the air right now. New York, it is magical.
Okay.
I'm going to say that OpTic Texas take it, Phil.
Oh, me personally? Oh. The crowd is loving it. Me personally, I think the dream scenario is in the script right now. Crimsix made it to the finals, and the fact is, if he goes against Scump,
That's fair.
That's
a good point.
Wild. As a Call of Duty fan, that's all I would ever need. But I want to hear what the audience has to say right now. Let's go ahead and put the cameras on him right now. I know we're in Brooklyn right now, but if you guys are rocking with the green wall, make some noise. All right. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. Atlanta FaZe and OpTic Texas are taking the main stage. Let's go ahead and get this game started.
One we go. Dashy coming through with the pistol. That's going to be nearly the first. Pulls out the pistol and gets it done. Afro.
Cellium gets the entire team. aBeZy going huge off the rotation single-handedly.
It's the guts. It's the glory. It's the championship for FaZe.
All right, New York, let's get it! It's time for another elimination matchup, and we got a dirty South banger coming up to the stage. The first team coming out, make some noise for Atlanta FaZe. You got Cellium, Arcitys, aBeZy, and Simp.
And while they are unbeaten, right, when we talk about versus OpTic Texas, they've yet to beat this roster. Now could be the time, right? They have suffered so much criticism, called the Silver Surfers. This could be the recipe for success. You take down this OpTic team en route to hopefully getting into that final. It could be exactly what this team needs. But Blaze, it's time to bring out the other side. It's time to bring